This question is worth considering. Earth is losing gravity. It's pretty interesting to ponder over. Gravity is why we walk on the surface of the Earth and don't float off into space. Earth's gravitational pull keeps us on its surface and makes objects fall towards it. The more massive an object is, and the closer we are to an object, the stronger its gravitational pull. Earth, of course, is huge, and we are on it. So, gravity keeps people walking on the ground and causes things to fall to the floor when dropped. Going back in history, Sir Isaac Newton, the renowned mathematician and physicist back in the 17th century, discovered gravity when he saw a falling apple while thinking about nature's forces. Now, let loose your imagination for a moment and let us see what will happen if Earth starts losing gravity. Imagine, if the Earth's gravity was only half as strong as it is now, we could jump higher and maybe touch the ceiling. Things will no longer fall as expected under gravity. We will notice that when we jump up, we will not land on the ground. Instead, we will be floating around. We would now find it easier to lift things. Instead of one heavy luggage, we could now carry 2 or maybe even more. But not a car or a train, as we would not turn into a superhero all of a sudden. People and other objects would start feeling weightless. On a lighter note, the only positive impact will be on overweight people. They would rather be happy to weigh less on the weighing scale. Friction would be much weaker because of the reduced weight. It would make walking on slippery surfaces more complex, and the wind would blow leaves, cars, and people about more easily. The air would feel lighter and less gravity would reduce the air pressure, and people would find it very hard to breathe in enough oxygen. When the Earth starts losing gravity, the sun would become relatively dimmer, which would cool Earth to about -100. The moon would pull less firmly at the Earth, and the Earth and moon would revolve around each other more slowly. It would reduce the tides on Earth, which means the sea levels won't rise and fall as much as they do now. The Earth wouldn't need to revolve as fast in its orbit to prevent falling into the sun. This means the number of days that make one year would be more than 365 days to around 517 days. Now, imagine working 517 days a year. Really tough, isn't it? On a serious note, a loss of gravity would also mean that the planet would stop pulling down air, water, and Earth's atmosphere, causing apocalyptic devastation. This sudden and significant loss of air pressure would immediately destroy everyone's inner ear, the experience we have when flying or scuba diving, but this would be much more intense and immediate. Concrete structures would start disintegrating, as oxygen, which is an essential binding agent, abandons the planet. Key takeaway from this is calling a person down to earth is quite comparable to saying that he or she is grounded, or the person indeed does not have his or her head in the clouds. All these idioms and phrases are trying to convey a humble, self-aware, and pragmatic person. A person whose head hasn't loaded up with so much aspiration and fanciful nonsense that it could inflate and lift him off their feet. In reality, it's not humility but the effect of gravity, the natural phenomenon that holds all objects grounded. If Earth were to lose gravity for even less than 5 seconds, it would spell the end of life on Earth. Also, there is nothing like ill health to make one appreciate good health. The same applies to the universe as well. By tweaking the fundamental physical laws, typically perfectly fine-tuned, at the correct values to allow stars, planets, atoms, and life to flourish, as we know it, could turn things very unusual and quite unpleasantly so. Imagining such a bizarre universe may heighten our appreciation for the norm. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more mind-boggling thoughts.